Welcome back to Up Front. Most Democratic lawmakers, I think it's fair to say, have not fully warmed to the Foxconn project. Only a few from southeast Wisconsin voted for the multi-billion-dollar deal to bring the Taiwanese tech giant to Racine County. On the campaign trail, Governor-elect Tony Evers promised to hold Foxconn accountable. So what, if anything, does a change in Madison mean for the Foxconn project? We are talking with Racine Mayor Cory Mason, who voted for Foxconn when he was a member of the State Assembly. Cory Mason, it's good to have you back with us today.
Glad to be here.
You are, as we said, one of the few Democrats who has been behind this project. Are you surprised that more Democrats have not gotten on board?
I think as time goes by and the project gets built out and people start to see it go up, I think you're going to see people change their opinions about it. Not just because of the project itself, but because it's so transformative for the Racine community in southeast Wisconsin. And I think when people see those opportunities there, I think opinions will change. I mean, the proof will be in the doing. But there's been enormous work that's been done in just a year already. And I think as we see more of it, I think opinions will start to change.
So we had a governor, Scott Walker, who was gung-ho about the project. This was his baby to some extent. And now we have Tony Evers. And the governor-elect has made it clear that he wants to hold Foxconn accountable. But have you talked with Governor-elect Evers about this?
I have. We've had conversations. We talk to Foxconn regularly about any number of things that are going on, but certainly, right after the election, I had a conversation with the governor-elect. I know he's had conversations with the Foxconn folks directly. I mean, I think the question that everyone needs to answer is how do we make sure that this program and this project and this whole endeavor that we've done with the state and Foxconn coming here, how do we make sure it's as successful as possible? And really, I think that's where the Foxconn folks and the governor-elect can really agree. How do we make sure that this is the success that everyone wants it to be?
Is there anything that has happened to date that has concerned you? Because we're talking about a somewhat different type of workforce than we originally envisioned, a somewhat different kind of product than was originally discussed. Anything that concerns you?
Whether or not we can do it all fast enough is what really concerns me the most. I mean, just the pace of what we've been trying to do in terms of, putting in water infrastructure, widening the interstate, doing all these preparations over and above what Foxconn represents. So what concerns me is just whether or not we're up to the challenge for all the changes that are coming, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to really rebuild the middle class in the Racine community. But it's going to require us to be intentional and to all work together and really appreciate that the success of this project is really bigger than how one company does. It's really got the potential to transform an entire region as a tech hub nationally. And so what challenges me most is, and what I think about the most is, how do we make sure that that opportunity is broadly shared amongst the entirety of our community, but that we're also in a position to be prepared for all the changes that are coming. You think about 11,000 construction workers, 13,000 permanent jobs, just the amount of transformation that takes for one community in a short period of time is a challenge.
You mentioned it gives you a chance to rebuild the middle class, but let me drill down on that a bit, because originally Foxconn talked about a number of workers who probably would fit more into what we typically think of as folks who work at a plant or a facility of that kind, but lately they're talking more about engineers. Does that change the potential for this project to transform your community?
No, I think it enhances the opportunity to transform the community for the better. So it's not just the 13,000 jobs of people that will work at Foxconn, and it's important for people to realize it's not your grandfather's manufacturing job where you're going to put widgets in a machine all day. It's different high-tech engineering-related stuff. But already we have people going through Gateway Technical College, taking classes and getting certified to do the jobs that'll be in place. But the other thing is, it's not as though these are the only 13,000 jobs that'll be created with Foxconn's presence. So there's a number of people who may move over to Foxconn. We've got incumbent companies that we need to make sure have the skilled workforce that they need to keep going. We've had a number of companies that have been very active in the Racine community for more than a century. We need to make sure that they're available to do it, plus all the supply chain and other construction activity that we're already seeing. There's enough space there for everyone to really succeed. The big challenge really is, are we seeing the wages go up the way that we would like to so that people can get into the middle class? And are we training our workers to be prepared for the jobs that are coming?
When you're out and about in town, are people in the city of Racine excited about this possibility?
They are.
They're not skeptical?
No, they're anxious about whether or not they get to be part of the opportunity. That's what we hear about is, well, how do I make sure that that our neighborhood's going to benefit, and how do I make sure that people like me get an opportunity, whether it's to get into the construction trades or to work there or to work at some other place. So that's really what we've focused on with some of the Fast Forward grants and some of the other things that we've done in the last year is how do we get people trained and skilled up for the jobs that are coming. And I'm thrilled that we've done dozens of people this year. We got to get to the place where we're training hundreds of people in a year. And so that's the challenge before us.
Corey Mason is the mayor of Racine. It's good to have you back on the program. Merry Christmas. And
Merry Christmas
enjoy
and
the
happy
holidays.
holidays.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks, Mike.
Governor-elect Tony Evers named 8 members of his cabinet last week, including Discovery World CEO Joe Brennan of Milwaukee to lead his Department of Administration. You can read more about the appointees on the Transition Watch blog, kept by our editorial partner, WisPolitics.com. Ridership on Milwaukee's streetcar is surpassing expectations. I'll ask where the hop goes from here. That's when Up Front continues.